What's up everybody, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at one of my finished parks that I finished on the PlayStation 5. This park is called Oasis Islands. It is uploaded onto the Frontier Workshop, so if you want to check it out for yourself, feel free to go and download it. This is by far my favorite park that I've ever created on the PlayStation 5. So I wanted to add a little car park. It's nothing crazy, but I like to add a little one to my parks no matter what. So the guests come in here, obviously, and you just kind of come in, kind of greeted over here with, you know, the ATM. You got boat tickets, island tours, and refreshments. I really like the way that this building turned out. This was actually the first building that I built in the park. So moving forward, I added this custom sign here. I really love the way that this turned out as well. Welcome to Oasis Islands. One thing I did in this park that I haven't done before in my other parks is I added signs to let you know where to go, which direction to go to get to certain places. So if you go to the right here, you got Tulo's and Capital Island. Tulo's is a bar slash grill that I came up with. And these tiki figures right here, they were downloaded off the workshop. I forget the name of the creator, but they're absolutely phenomenal. Had to download them. So you got Tulo's here. Did a little bit of an interior. Nothing too crazy. And then around the corner here we got this bar. Which you can get some really cool views here of some of the other islands. And this bar right here was actually created by Iron Matty, so shout out to him. I just did some modifications to it. This bar and the tiki figurines are the only two things that have been downloaded off of the workshop. Everything else has been custom created by myself. So if we keep going this way, this will kind of just lead you over here to this underground tunnel system I have going, just to kind of get the guests to the other islands. Let's see here, I'll show you. So it kind of just goes down here underneath of everything. And I put signs here to let you know where to go. You can go that way for Leisure Island or this way for Capital Island. And if you come all the way down here, it'll eventually split off and you can go to Coco Island. But for the sake of this video, we're going to go ahead and take the boat from island to island, because I just feel like the experience is better that way. So let's get back up here and change it back to day. Alright, so if we go over here, you have the beach and the boats. I wanted to create a little beach, even though I know the guests won't use it. I just thought it would be a cool idea to add to the atmosphere. Another thing I really tried to do good at on this park is add ambient sounds everywhere you go. So there's no areas that you would go where it's going to be silent. If there's water nearby, I put water speakers to make it sound like water splashing around. So it really adds to the immersion aspect of everything. So this is the first station building for the boats here. Which I didn't know if the guests would actually ride from this station to another one and get off at a different station. It looks like sometimes a couple of them do. For the most part though, they just kind of go one big circle and come back to the station that they originally got on the boats from. So I'm actually gonna just like operate this with the camera, just instead of hopping on the boat. So it starts right here. This kind of just brings you around, gives you some good views and perspectives of some of the coasters and, you know, the islands that you're going to be visiting. And I really love the way that this coaster looks right here, the way it reflects off the water, all the hills just in and out, like patternized almost. Looks really nice. I'm very satisfied with the way that that turned out. So we'll come on around through here, and this will take us to the first island that we're going to be visiting, and that's going to be Leisure Island. Alright, let's get off. And here we are. So over here I just added a couple shops, food and drink. A lot of guests don't really come over here, I've noticed, but it's there. So we come around here, added this nice little custom boardwalk area. I had to put some custom benches in here. You get some really good views here as well of all the terraforming and everything. We got our second bar here, another beach. I really like the way that all the compositions and colors turned out in this park. It's very vibrant, comforting. This is one of the flat rides here that I have placed down, called this thing Cubic Soar. I don't think we're going to ride the flat rides in this one. I think we're going to just only ride the coasters. This was actually the first flat ride that I ever did a skin on. I actually think it turned out pretty good. It looks pretty simple, but that actually took quite a bit of work. That's going to be Tropical Breeze. I also really like the coverings that I did here. Looks really good. Let's make our way back out. So if you were to take the tunnels underneath, basically you would come out right here. So I kind of made sure, like, when you come in, you get like this grand sign, and you got your signs telling you where everything is, basically. So that brings us to our first coaster, and this is called Marengo. I don't know where I came up with the name from. It just kind of came to me, I guess. So let's check out the queue here. And sorry if the voice quality isn't the best. I'm recording with a PlayStation headset with a built-in microphone. So I'm probably assuming it's not going to be the best quality, but it'll do. So I really wanted to have my queues really interact with the coasters in this park, really get the guests like really close to the track and get them excited for what they're about to ride. Got a nice little transfer track over there. We'll take a look at that in a minute. Really like the way that this turned out. I put transfer tracks on all of the coasters in this park except for the junior coaster. I also really like this station building as well. Custom roofing. Let's hop on here. that was Marengo. I really enjoyed building that coaster. I think it turned out really well, actually. This was the third coaster I built in the park. I really like the way it wraps around right here, so the guests can get a really cool perspective of it as they sit down here, grab some food or some drinks, sit down here and watch the coaster fly by. The tropical park isn't much without the whirly rig, so I had to add this back here. Skinned it a little bit, looks pretty good. Alright, let's head on back this way. Oh yeah, let's take a look at this transfer track as well. I really like the way that this turned out. I didn't want to clutter it too much in here, but you know, I put a little bit here and there. It looks pretty cool. Alright, let's go back over here. Sorry if I'm not the best at, you know, spotlighting. This is my first ever time doing this. It's also my first ever time doing a voiceover audio on a recording. So if you guys want to see more of this, let me know in the comments. I'm more than happy to do more of these. Let's hop back on the boat here. Alright, next stop we'll head on over to Capital Island. Capital Island was actually the first island in the park that I created. I really like the way it turned out. It has a really good dive coaster over there too. I just really like a lot of the views and sight lines you get as you come through here. Had to put the giant sky wheel in there. It's more or less eye candy. The guests don't really seem to want to ride it that often. The ride's never really that busy. Love the way that single rail looks. This park in general only took me about 1 month to complete, but I've put a lot of hours into it. I had so much fun building this. It was such a vibe. Let's head on over here. So just some more shops, some food and drink. I did this place, Capital Grill. Go in, sit down. You can see the B&M dive as it goes by. Really cool views right there. I really wish the guests would come out here and use these tables more, but I don't think I've ever seen one person come out here and use any of these tables. It's more or less just for looks. Still some really cool views out here though. Let's head on out here. Pretty much anywhere you are on this island, you get some really cool views of this B&M dive. This is Falcon. I just thought Falcon's a bird and birds dive, so that's where I got the name for that. Let's go ahead and jump in the queue. I'll have to say, all the trees and plants and rocks that I added really just add to the whole experience. I really tried to make sure that the foliage was consistent everywhere. I didn't want it to be too light, I didn't want it to be too heavy, and I think it really turned out nice. I really like these views that you get here in the queue. The track's just so close, you can almost feel the wind coming off of the coaster as it passes by. Alright, let's go on up here. And let's take a ride on Falcon. And that was Falcon. I had a lot of fun building this one. This was actually the first coaster that I built in the park. And here's a good look at the transfer track here. Really like the way that this transfer track turned out as well. One thing I wish that Planet Coaster console had was, I wish we had access to a theme maker's toolkit. It would really change up the game, but we have to make do with what we have. So right out of Falcon, we'll head on over here to the Junior Coaster. So if you were to just take the path over here, you would come out right here. And there you got your sign. Love the station building for that Junior Coaster as well. It's almost giving Iron Gwazi, but a little bit different. So this is called Rex's Adventure. No idea who Rex is, but sounded good, so went with it. Yeah, when I first opened this ride up, it was the most popular one in the park. The queue is all the way backed up. Now that I have everything open, it's pretty died down now. Still some really cool perspectives here. Alright, here we are at the station building of Rex's Adventure. This is the family coaster of the park. Let's go ahead and hop on it and take a ride. And there it was. I really like that coaster. For a junior coaster, it's got some pacing, that's for sure. I actually turned off the track limits on this one so I could bank it a little bit more, because the banking on this one, it didn't really let you go that far, and I really wanted to have some good banking on it, so disabled the track limits for that. And over here we have some restrooms, which I went all out on, as you can tell. And we have Black Pearl, which this was popular when it first opened. Now only a couple guests go on it at a time. It's not very popular anymore. Still a cool look though. I like the way it looks. I added some stuff all around it. Some nice props. And I had those triggered too. On a couple of the swings on there, those come out and do their thing. Alright, so I think that does it for Capital Island. I know I'm probably not the best at spotlighting this, but I'm showing you everything at least. One thing I've really gotten better at too is my buildings. It took me a while to really like nail it down, to get better at like adding all the extra trims and doing different angles and just like adding pieces to it that aren't supposed to be there. Basically, like up here, this is basically supposed to be a fence. That's a fence piece, but it has a nice effect there on the roof. Yeah, buildings are definitely improving. That's one thing with Planet Coaster too, is the more that you build, the more that you learn, the better that you get. There's no real strategy behind it. It's just put in the hours and, you know, test your limits and you'll get better. Alright, let's hop on here. This will take us to the last island of the park. Really like the way that looks too. Kind of cluttered, but looks really cool. Gives off a good aesthetic. So I didn't want to go too crazy on the outside terraforming. It does what it needs to do. Added trees all around. I didn't want to go too intense with the trees, because I was already getting pretty close to 100%. So it definitely does what it needs to though. There's some really nice views here as you go by. Love the way that coaster looks. So here we are at the last island, Coco Island. My fiance actually named this one. I told her that she could name one of the islands on the park, and that's what she came up with. It's a pretty good name overall, I think. So here we are, Coco Island. Some really cool buildings here as well. These tiki guys too, they really just add to the whole theming aspect of it. Bravo to whoever created those. So when you come into this island from the path, you'll come up from down there and you'll see the sign and you'll come in. Yeah, I really like these buildings over here. So that'll bring us to Blackbeard's Revenge. This is a dark ride that I did in the park. I would have to say this is by far my best dark ride that I've ever created in the game. I've tried a couple different times to do dark rides and they never really turn out that well. But I'm actually very pleased with this one, the way that it turned out. I'm going to go ahead and switch it tonight. We'll go ahead and jump on in here. Alright, let's go on in. Really wanted the queue on this one to be super themed. Had so much fun building this ride. So there's no like particular story that goes with this dark ride. More or less, you're out on an adventure to steal some treasure, and you basically break into territory and go through a little bit of a battle to get to the treasure. Pretty typical storyline for a pirate themed dark ride. Another thing I really enjoy doing in the game is nighttime lighting. I really like the way that Planet Coaster's lights work in the game. It's just a lot of fun to go around at nighttime and really, you know, make it an experience to walk around with all the different colored lights and things that you can do. It's really cool. I enjoy it. It's very therapeutic for me. We'll have to take an overall look at the park at nighttime as well. Go on down through here. Dark rides are a lot of work in this game, but if you just have patience and you do it, it's so worth it in the end. Alright, let's hop on Blackbeard's Revenge. and that was Blackbeard's Revenge. I really enjoy that. I probably rode that thing 50 times. Yeah, that was so much fun to make. That's one thing I'm going to also try to keep improving on as I go on with future parks is my dark rides. I really want to get like really good at them because not only are they really fun to make, but if they're done right, it gives off a really cool experience when visiting the park as well. There's just so many different things you can do with this game. That's why it's my favorite game. I mean, you can start with a blank slate and really just create whatever your mind can imagine. It's just amazing. Since we're already at night, we'll go ahead and peep around here a little bit at night. Really love the way this coaster looks at nighttime here. Phenomenal. I really like the blue accents that I put here. Little seating area here, some water and some noodles. Skywheel looks fantastic. Not very popular though. See, there's only 4 people in line over there. This is going to be our 4th coaster in the park. This is Vex. This will be our last coaster. This is the last one that I created in the park. I wasn't sure which coaster type I wanted to go with, but this one stood out to me the most, and I'm really happy with the results. Might as well just go through the queue at night as well. We'll ride this one both at day and night. Again, with this coaster, I wanted the queue to be very interactive with the track. So basically, no matter where you stand, you can just watch the coaster zoom by. Leaves for a really cool experience. I like the transfer track on this one as well. All the transfer tracks I did in this park are actually pretty good. And I really love the station build that I did on this one. Really unique. That roof is actually made out of individual signs. Let's go on up here. Wow, that looks so cool. Alright, we'll go ahead and ride this one at nighttime first, and then that was Vex. If you guys are wondering why I'm always riding in track view, it's because it makes for a more smooth experience on the coasters. If you ride in seat view, it's a little bit jittery, because I make my coasters with mostly the 4-meter method. Sometimes I'll do 6 to 8 meter, but I usually use shorter track pieces, so it's a little bit jittery if you ride in seat view. But if you ride in track view, it's always really smooth. On the exit here, I wanted to do another little boardwalk seating area, and just like sit down and take in the views. And I think that actually brings us to the end of this video. Let's go ahead and pop out here and do some bird's eye view of everything. I only did a little bit of backstage in the park. There's a little bit right here. I just put a little staff building in there, so the staff will come and walk through and go to their staff building. I didn't really do too much backstage, but take a look at everything real quick at a bird's eye view. I think visually this is my favorite coaster. It just looks like so phenomenal. Looks so nice. Just like all the greenery everywhere, all the palm trees and the beech trees, it just really makes it all pop. I really like the colors that I chose for all the coasters too. It's just very poppy. A little bit of realism here. Added some air vents and some air conditioning units. But yeah, this is an overview look of the whole thing. I added some triggered effects here for when the boats go by. I'll fast forward it here and show you what I'm talking about. Cannon shoot and then the water splashes. Cool little effect. But yeah, let's take a little quick look at nighttime real quick. I didn't go too crazy on the lighting. I just wanted to keep it very subtle and warm. I did light up the coasters pretty well. This one's lit up red. So I lit the coasters pretty well. On the paths, I just did general, lamps all the way around, just to keep it nice and warm and inviting. Nothing too extensive. But yeah, I'm really happy with the way that this park turned out. This is by far my best park I've ever created on the console. I'm really excited to see what I can do next. Let me know what you guys think about this park down in the comments below, and if you like this video, please leave a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. I do appreciate all the support I can get. I know it's been a while since I've uploaded on the channel, but I'm planning on doing some more uploads here, so if you guys want to hear more voiceover audios from me, or if you guys want me to start doing park spotlights of other people's parks, let me know in the comments below. I'm excited to be back, and thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.